Pragyesh says, as a data scientist, I can claim that creating a web browser environment is probably the most difficult IT task, as it requires huge resources. Given the current scenario of Ukraine, Russia, and the way Google and Apple have restricted Russian access, it is imperative that we create our own web browser and search engine as effective as Google. How can we make that happen? Is any government or private organization working on it? As far as I know, nobody seems to be working on such a thing. You are absolutely right. See, right now I hear that Microsoft has announced that it will no longer support um, its operations in Russia. So Windows updates will not happen if you are in Russia, and if you have a Windows laptop or computer and so on and so forth. They're cutting off all support. So that could lead to problems, right? And so it is useful to have your own systems, your own infrastructure, your own, like you said, web browser environment, your own search engines and all that. The Chinese have done that. They have their own search engine, they have their own social media. The Russians also have their own search engine. I don't remember what it's called. They don't have their own social media, but they may not need it, or they may be in a position to develop it. So I think in the future, all big countries, all powerful countries, will become more and more mindful of the fact that these things can be weaponized, and all countries will start creating their own social media, their own search engine, and you will find the compartmentalization of the internet coming into the picture. The Chinese already have it, the so-called Great Firewall of China. In the future, any country that wishes to remain a sovereign nation may be forced to implement something like that, because it's very easy to manufacture public opinion using social media. Very easy. It's very easy to influence elections in a democratic country from abroad using social media, right? So it's a big problem. So you're right, this is very important for India, especially if India wants to remain a sovereign nation, an independent nation in the third decade of the 21st century. So India needs to have its own search engine. India needs to have. I mean, there's nobody in India that manufactures laptops or computers, right? We are planning to become a big manufacturer of semiconductors and chips. It's still something that's just a plan. It's not been implemented yet. I hope it happens quickly in the next decade. So that will make India independent from other countries in that regard, in that respect. But it is also very important for India to have its own search engines, not one, multiple, and its own social media and all of that. Maybe its own operating system as well. So all of this needs to happen. As far as I know, I'm not aware of any private company or government organization that's doing it, but I hope it happens. So you have raised a very important point here.